Hello, my name is Hassan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast shorts. There's no co-host on these shorts episodes. These are now around 2 to 4 minute, sometimes as long as 6 to 10 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 2 to 4 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book your coworker won't stop raving about because it quote-unquote changed their life, but you can't see any difference in their leadership behavior. So how good could that author be? Most Christmas memories are driven by nostalgia. Mostly longing for comfort, security, hope, and renewal, the music of this season, the movies, and even the marketing traditions are designed to bring out or to draw out feelings an individual or a group of individuals may have from the past. Of course, if the past wasn't that great, or if the current era those individuals or groups happen to be in happens to be a mess, then all the emotions invoked by the holiday seasonal atmosphere can feel obligatory and even oppressive. If the past was great, the current era can also be disappointing in not matching exactly the environment and atmosphere that came before. Memory is a tricky thing, especially around emotionally loaded times and seasons of the year, and there is little great, or even mediocre or good, advice for how to navigate the impact of memories. What a person remembers usually isn't what another person remembers. Even in the same family, raised by the same parents, two people can have radically different experiences, resulting in radically different memories. And of course, all this is heightened by the atmosphere, the mood, and the nostalgia of the holidays. In a society that has elevated individual autonomy, decision-making, and freedom to a sharp point of licentiousness and, dare I say, even idolatry, group traditions and group norms are difficult, if not near impossible, to maintain. Even ones that might be good for the spirit or for the mind, because the lurking question that the tradition does not explicitly answer is this: if this community tradition is quote-unquote good for me as an individual, why doesn't it feed my own individualistic needs and forget everyone else? Selfishness, anger, sadness, depression, bad memories, and fake nostalgia can be toxic when mixed together. Stirred by the spoon of individualism and driven by ambition and dissatisfaction, this mix can warp our Christmas memories and, of course, render us powerless to conceptualize a slow, step-by-step resurrection of the parts of the tradition that matter the most. I have no conclusions today about any of this. These are just some thoughts that I have, 10 days out from a day where we are supposed to celebrate the arrival of the baby Jesus in the world. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast today. And now that you've made it this far, you should subscribe to the audio version of this show on all the major podcast players, including Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and everywhere else where podcasts are available. There's also a video version of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the Leadership Toolbox channel on YouTube. Just search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. And while you're doing that, leave a 5-star review if you like what we're doing here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Just go below the player and hit 5 stars. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to help grow this show. And tell all your friends, of course, in leadership. By the way, if you don't like what we're doing here, well, you can always listen to another leadership show. There are several other good ones out there. At least that's what I've heard. All right. Well, that's it for me.